pleasure dream.
Welcome back. Today I'm excited to listen to more Band-Maid. Now just a heads up, I'm not like a lot of the reactors who haven't listened to this before. I actually have listened to Band-Maid before. But what I'm doing, as you know if you've watched my last few videos, is I've gone back to the beginning. I listened to their very first album, which was made in Japan. I listened to their single. I listened to their second album. And in every case, I did the audio first, and then I went and watched the music video if there was one associated with the song. We've discovered some hidden gems, some songs that most of us don't hear very often because there aren't official music videos or they're not played anymore. And as for me, I've just enjoyed the really good music that they made, even in the early days when they weren't writing their own song. But today I've got their third album, which is Brand New Made. And as all the knowledgeable Maniacs know, this is the first one that includes songs that they wrote themselves. One thing I like about this is that it's a plastic case, so it fits in with all my regular CDs instead of those cardboard ones that are slightly out of shape. There are 9 songs on here, but the last one is a live version of Real Existence, which we've already heard. We've heard the studio track, the music video, and the live version. So there's basically 8 songs on this album, and I'm going to try to get to the first 5 today. That's the Nonfiction Days, which we know there's a music video for. Then there's 4 that don't have a music video. Look at Me, Order, Brand New Road, and Yuragu. I'm probably not pronouncing that one correctly. And then the last 3 for these, there are official music videos, so I'm going to save that for my next one. One cool thing is that in addition to this jacket liner notes, whatever that came with the album, which does have the lyrics in Japanese here, there was an additional insert which has the romanized version of the Japanese lyrics side by side with an English translation for all the lyrics. So that's pretty cool. And as I said, the first song is Nonfiction Days. I'm going to listen to the audio first, just the audio, and then I'll watch the music video. But first I'm going to look at the lyrics here. The English version says, "I wonder, which is the broken clock? You know it's my choice. Both ways are black. I can only tell right from wrong by someone else's standards." That's interesting. "When I feel lonely, I start to doubt if I really exist. Do I really exist?" I don't know if there's any way to prove that. I mean, I think, therefore I am, but I can't prove to you that I'm thinking, so maybe I don't exist. That's the heavy nonfiction days, continuous lies. I can't spit out this spreading poison, these pretty tough nonfiction days. I can't do anything well, can't even smile, like someone else is in control of these nonfiction days, even in my own room. Don't fight myself. And it goes on kind of in a similar vein, which I'm not going to read the entire lyrics. You can probably look them up if you want to. But anyway, I thought it was cool that they included the English translation. It sounds like there's a lot of deep thoughts that went into this, even though, someone else wrote it for Band-Maid. One thing I have been doing, I know you hear reactors all the time saying, "Oh, I haven't listened to that song yet because I wanted to do a reaction to it." But one thing I've been doing is not listening to Band-Maid since the last video that I made. I've been listening to some other new bands that I've discovered over the last year, like Trident and Guitaric Spin and Hanabiye, and a couple that I'm not sure how to pronounce, like Toranoki Rami or a couple like that, trying to not listen to Band-Maid because I wanted this to be a little bit fresh when I went into it. But let's go here. I have the CD version pulled up because I couldn't get Spotify to sound right, and I couldn't find an audio-only version on YouTube. All right, so Nonfiction Days, let's go. My only comment on the intro there is that it sounds familiar. And by that, I don't mean that I think they copied it from somebody. It just has a familiar sound. I don't know what the effect sound is called on the guitar, but I like that it felt like it was skipping over the drums just a little bit, and it felt like the drums were doing a pretty cool pattern that was making it sound faster. The first few seconds was compressed or something, so it wasn't a full sound, but then when it kicked in and the drums and everything came in there, it sounded pretty cool. I'm going to listen to it again and then just go into the vocals there.
You know it's my choice. どちらにせよ両方
was a nice play with the rhythm there, the way that the vocals weren't quite following the rhythm of the music. Almost, again, like the guitar at the beginning, kind of bouncing in between the rhythm. I think we're getting close to the chorus. We're at the part where, I don't know if this is in English or Japanese when they sing it, but we're at the part where it says, when I feel lonely, I start to doubt if I really exist. I'll just say I'm really enjoying the heavy sound of this. The backing guitar, what would be the rhythm guitar, it was really heavy there through the verse, and then the lead guitar was kind of playing atop of that. During the chorus, there was not quite dueling vocals, but there was almost an echo. The lead vocal singing the lead part, and then the backup vocal following it, which had a kind of a cool, almost nostalgic effect. But I do like that even as the song changes, it feels like at times that it changes in tone and almost maybe in pace, but the whole time it feels like it's driving and it's almost urgent, that you have to get this thing that they're thinking about here, you have to get that resolved, is the feeling that I get from this. Let's keep going. I'm going to back up a little bit and catch that part again, but it was different than the first verse. And I know that we caught Band-Maid doing this a lot later on, but this seems like something that's evolving. It started a little bit maybe in that second album, and then here we're seeing it, that each verse, even though the melody might technically be the same, the way that they approach it is different. They've changed it here. They've pulled some parts and maybe added something in. Let's back up and catch the end of the chorus there. I liked the biting feel that guitar had, like it came in like a chainsaw there for just a second, and it felt nice. I was just going to check the lyrics here and see if the intro to the next chorus said the same thing, but it did not. On the first line, the first time going into the chorus, it had the thing about, I start to doubt if I really exist. And the second time going into the chorus, it said, build a moat. Once it's complete, you might be able to see what's inside. I'm not going to ponder that too deeply, but it's pretty cool poetry. So, you know, a lot of credit needs to go out to the people that wrote these songs, both musically and lyrically. I think it's as good as at least, you know, 80-90% of the rock song lyrics that I know of from my past. I don't know if there's a guitar solo coming up here or not. I know I've heard the song before, but I can't remember. But I was going to say that was a pretty long held note, which feels rare to me. I'm not, you know, a Band-Maid expert. I don't have every song in my head right now, but I was just trying to think of any other times where they hold a note for that amount of time. But it also felt like it was like slightly Like it was a note off, but maybe building tension, or maybe that was the harmony note that went with it that made it feel that way. I'm not a musician, so I'm not sure. That just something felt like there was something in that, the way that they built that note there that built some tension.
Oh yeah.
Right there, just before it ended, I felt like there was a really interesting bass feature, just a couple of notes, just reminding us that she was there. But I did like how the ending, the outro, very closely resembled the intro, reminded you of that sound, I don't know what else to call it, but just like that skipping guitar. One thing that I really like about this song is it didn't feel like there was one standout. I know that Band-Maid's unlike other bands in that they very often feature multiple people during the same song, but a lot of times when you listen to one song, you're like, oh my god, Akane was a standout in that song, or MISA's the hero of that song, or whatever. But in this one, I felt like there were 5 heroes. They all blended really well. There were very few points at which one instrument or just the vocal or anything really stood out. If anything, the lead guitar was the thing that caught my attention throughout this song, but it wasn't overpowering. It was just the thing that was driving the song on the top of it anyway, on the face of it. The vocals blended really well, and I think I've mentioned 3 or 4 times that I really like the lyrics. Now let's take a look at the music video. All right, I noticed that I am overlapping the video player just a little bit. Hopefully I won't block anything important there, but this is the official music video on Band-Maid's channel. I'm pretty sure I've seen this before, but I'm trying to remember what it looked like. Let's go. It looks like a cold day at the beach. I know they're not dressed for cold weather, but it looks like Akane is hugging herself. Also, it looks like Konami's about to spill her tea there. Coming from a lot of days of photography, a lot of times the videography interests me. Videography? Sorry, did I pronounce that weird? Because it has very similar techniques. For example, I think about the way that they framed the shots, how distant they must have been to get this shot, because this is, I think, obviously shot with a fairly long lens, but from a good distance away. And so you've got what appears to be maybe a walking bridge in the background that's out of focus there. And they found a pretty, flat area of what it looks like a beach to set all this stuff up there. But the wind is clearly blowing. All right, let's keep going. Well, Well, I did mention the wind blowing, so I guess it makes sense that there are windmills there in the background. And maybe it's not a beach. Maybe it's just a sandy area, but I do like that long shot there. I do like that distant, and here the camera's very low. You can see by the out of focus sand there in the foreground. You know, the camera's not far off the ground here, just, you know, shooting straight across this distance here. But yeah, that's a nicely framed shot there. Now, one thing I don't think about very often when I'm watching music videos is how many times they have to go through the motions of the song, pretending to play through those notes and singing into a mic that's assumably not plugged in. And you can tell by the number of and the kinds of shots that they had to have done it at least, you know, 3 or 4 times, just because here this is clearly a wider angle camera that's moving around them pretty close. And it wasn't in the frame when you had that long shot. And I noticed that long shot moved a little bit. So it wasn't setting on the ground. It was hanging low from, I don't know, somebody carrying it low across there, right? You know, sliding it on a rail or maybe on a moving vehicle. Here, I'm pretty sure either a boom or a cameraman is, you know, carrying it across there. And of course, we had multiple shots of different people here. So they filmed this multiple times, and that has to get exhausting. But yeah, I do see the water out there now. And there's what I called the walking bridge earlier. I don't know what it is, but I don't see the windmill in this shot. Maybe it's behind Miku's head, or maybe this is at a slightly different angle, or maybe because this isn't the long telephoto lens, that the windmills are very small in the background here. Either way, it's an interesting setting. It's a really cool place to film a video, although it still does look cold to me with that wind blowing. And maybe the white balance, the color shading of the video makes it feel cold to me. I notice now that they've interspersed a slow motion shot in between all the normal speed shots here. That was clearly slow motion body movement there for just a second. And also they've clearly been recording this so many times that it's become nighttime. So they've lit some fires here, which this looks like real fire. Can't be 100% certain because I don't know how these videos are made, but if you've seen one of their latest music videos, Shambles, a lot of that looked CGI'd, but this looks like they had, you know, real little fire pots sitting out there. Obviously, we assumed that they were at a safe distance from the musicians, some clearly in the foreground and, you know, some in the background away from them, but still in the shot. And it looks pretty cool. And they clearly have plenty of energy. You know, they're still just working at this. And that's one thing that always impresses me about Band-Maid is how much work they put into it. Just even though it's slow motion, you can just see them moving here, and you know that they've been doing this throughout the day, at least one day, maybe more. I don't know. Pretty cool, and it sounds good here too. Yeah, the bass thing that I mentioned just at the end of the audio version, I heard it there too, right at the end, just a little boom. Yeah, that was fun. I hate to say it, but I don't think that for me that the video added much more than the audio gave me. I really enjoyed the audio of this. Here, obviously with the visuals, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out where they were and how they were set up and, how it was shot and that sort of thing. But yeah, it was a fun song with a fun message. And I've already spent a lot of time on it. So I want to get on to a couple of more songs here. All right, the next song is Look at Me, and I just read the lyrics to myself. It seems a lot like it's about, someone who's shy and wants to connect with the other person, and it sounds almost like they're just using like mental power to try to will the other person to look at them. Look at me. But anyway, let's see what it sounds like. Okay, I'm going to listen to that again. It took me by surprise because reading the lyrics, it sounded like it had a more thoughtful, slow tone. And even though I'm sure I've heard this song before, I don't have a memory of it. That one came out of the gate pretty hard and heavy. Let me just say that I don't think this reminds me of anything. I don't know if I've heard, I think the opening, I've heard songs that, had a similar kind of drive that one had, but the rest of it, the way that the lyrics fit in, and then the parts that kind of slowed and relaxed just a little bit, like this song sounds completely unique, and I like it. If there's a slight roar in the background, my air conditioner has just kicked on, and yes, it's February when I'm recording this, and it's over 90 degrees outside. That is unusual even for Texas. So yeah, just a few days ago, we were running the heater like everybody else, but now the air conditioner is on. Hopefully it won't affect the audio quality here too much. Let's keep going. 微熱混じりのサイネス君のせいにさせてよねもっとショートしそうなくらい追い込んでみて Look at me baby Look at me baby ひざまついてしまうかい Look at me baby Look at me baby Okay, I do recognize the chorus. I'm pretty sure I have heard this before. Don't get mad at me, but I'm not a huge fan of the vocal melody here, but I like everything else so far. I'm going to go back just a few seconds. It sounded like MISA was playing on the bass there for just a second, which was something that I mostly missed on the nonfiction days. That one seemed to be, at least musically, about the guitars for me, but this one, I'm definitely hearing a lot more bass in it. You heard the bass there, right? Please tell me you're not listening to this on a tiny little tablet speakers or laptop speakers or something, and that you've put in headphones or at least earbuds so that you could hear that bass. I wish it had stood out just a little bit more like they do in some of their more later mixes, but it was there. I don't know how far back to go there. Look at me baby Look at me baby この世界が変わるかい Look at me baby
焼き付けて
Wow, that was different. And the vocal melody is growing on me. I will say that. Maybe because it's now becoming familiar, so it has a little bit of a nostalgic feeling to it. But man, I really love everything else about this song. The way that the drums are just fitting in perfectly and carrying everything along. MISA is having so much fun with this song. It almost feels like one of those where they just told her what key it was in and she then just played whatever notes she wanted to and it worked. But I'm sure it was more precise than that, given what we know of these ladies. But then the guitar solo was one of the most unique guitar solos I've ever heard, and the bass was playing in there too.
焼き付けてそうね初めてかもねそっと君だけにこの鼓動を聞かせたい Look at me baby Look at me baby ひざまついてしまうかい Look at me baby Look at me baby この世界が変わるかい Look at me baby Look at me baby 嘘つきな胸に今火をつけて
Wow, by the end of that, I think the vocals were one of my favorite parts. I don't know if her voice changed slightly as the song went along, or if I just got more accustomed to it. You could hear just the slightest hint of roughness in her voice on those higher notes there at the end, which made it sound really good, really rock and roll. But man, the musicianship on this song was out of this world. There were so many unexpected twists and turns just in this little song, less than 4 minutes. Parts where the music dropped out entirely, and suddenly in a couple of cases, including right there at the end, and parts where it didn't drop out, but it felt like they were just having an adventure. That was a lot more fun than I expected it to be. Track number 3 is Order, and it starts off with, I wanna be with you, give me a rest. They're laughing from the shadows anyway. Those who don't, when to quit. I think they left a word out there. Those who don't know when to quit, maybe. Pretending to be nice, and putting on your daily show of obedience. In your own head, you're spinning. I don't need any high and mighty lectures. Never want to cry. Never gonna give up. I'm always dreaming, flying my pride that's white as snow. On the nights I feel lost, I want to be with you. Give me a rest. Well, again, it feels like they're talking about at least 2 different things there, but maybe more. But it gives you a lot to think about. I'm not going to go ahead and read the rest of the song. Let's just give it a listen.
I wanna be with you, give me a rest.
When the second guitar came in there, that was really fun. I wasn't expecting the vocals only intro, or at least I think it was vocals only going back.
I wanna be with you, give me a rest.
Sorry, I'm going back again. Did the drums just picked up the pace there, didn't they? I almost didn't notice it because I was listening to the guitar playing in my right ear. This just 20 seconds of this song, and there's so much that's already interesting. know I'm not the first person that's noticed this, but it does seem like starting somewhere, maybe here, Band-Maid built a lot of places into their songs where the crowd could sing along. And very often they started off as Miku lines in the studio track. And right there, it was the whoa, 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 whoa. I was way off pitch, but that's because I just heard it and I started talking about it before I made sure I knew what notes they were, but I'm not a singer, so don't worry about that. But that reminded me that I think later on they started doing this more and more often. They would build in a place where the crowd could chant or sing along. I think she was about to go someplace there, but I noticed that the drums broke from their normal pattern and started, I don't know what other word to use other than playing. What do you even call that? I probably wouldn't have noticed that before I started listening to this band, but so many things that they do musically have drawn my ears into little crevices of songs that bands have probably been doing my whole life, and I've been listening to them, but I was just like, oh yeah, that's really cool. I never actually talk like that, but here, the way that they put it in, and the way that it's layered and placed, and it draws your attention to it sometimes. And it's just really fun to spot those moments where things change. And again, I think Akane's just playing here. Oh, somebody tell me there's a live version of this somewhere. I know there's not an official music video, but oh my goodness. What did I say my favorite was before this? It was Real Existence, right? I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I haven't heard the whole song yet. I've only heard 1 minute and 20 seconds, but my goodness, this is fantastic. Backing up 10 seconds. That's one of the best build-ups to a chorus I've ever heard, where there's a nice solid rhythm in the verse, but then there's that little break where Akane plays, and during the verse, MISA was doing incredible things, but during this little break right before going into the chorus, that just, it feels like it's slowing down, but it's not. They're just trying to fool you because they were about to slam you with the chorus, and that just works so well. Never wanna die, never gonna shoot out. Sorry, I just caught a lyric that I didn't see when I read the lyrics. Oh, it's because they changed in the second chorus. Okay, because the first one said, I don't need any high and mighty lectures, never want to cry, never want to give up, I'm always dreaming. The second one said, I don't need some uninspiring future, never want to die, never gonna sit down, pushing into a crowded train, struggling to hold on to my impatience and loneliness, but tonight, I wonder why, tear is overflowing down. Yeah, they changed because I heard the never want to die. Wow, I don't know what else to say about this. I just want to listen to the rest of it and see where it goes from here. But this is gotta be right up there with Real Existence as far as my favorites go, just my personal taste. I know I said in the last song at the beginning, the vocal melody wasn't doing it for me, but then it caught up to me, or I caught up to it by the end. This one, it caught me from the beginning. The vocal melody here is great. I wonder why tears is overflowing down. What? I said I didn't know where the song was going to go, and wow, have I ever. I don't think I've ever been that prophetic in my life. I had no idea where that song was going to go. That was worth listening to again. And that's only 2.5 minutes. I feel like this is an 8-minute song, but I don't mean 8 minutes like, oh, it's dragging on, but 8 minutes like there's a lot in there, and they, oh my goodness. How far do I back up for that?
I wonder why till is overflowing down.
Okay, that song was an adventure. I want to listen to it again right now, but I also want to keep going. And definitely the title of this album was spot on. Brand new made. This is a brand new band compared to what they had before. I don't know if they brought in new writers. I mean, there's definitely some similarities to what they did before, but they're definitely settling into. If this had been the first album that I'd heard, there wouldn't have ever been a question. In Made in Japan, there were questions. There were points in the album, especially in the first several songs, where I was like, I don't know how much I'm going to listen to this. I don't know if I would have bought this album or not. I would have been curious what they were going to do next. That's not the case here. This one, I would have, if I'd heard just snippets of these songs, I would have then gone and bought the album immediately. This is amazing. This is spectacular. Wow. Well, so far, Order is my hero of these 3 songs. I mean, Nonfiction Days was good, and Look at Me was fun, but Order, oh my goodness, that was steps for me. Personally, my taste, it was steps above those 2. Next is Brand New Road. Useless courtesy debates only consumes your short life. Nobody listens to us anyway. Satisfied showing off. The knowledge you got from magazines. Okay, there's dirty fighting in this song. Dirty fighting. Why showing off? Fancy talks cannot let you live. Even pain is a detonator. Grasp it boldly. Brand New Road. I'm guessing there might be some translation issues in this song, but it might not be that. It might just be that whoever wrote it had some words that sounded cool. Some of them might, I don't know which ones are in Japanese and which ones are in English when we hear the song, but I didn't get a lot out of it other than there were some fun phrases in there. Grasp it boldly. Dirty fighting. That'll be fun if they say that in English. Okay, Brand New Road. Let's see what we got. Once again, MISA is having fun with this song. There's some nice, just really low-end bass work in the background. I probably wouldn't be able to hear it on most of my other listening devices. And that's the sad thing about when I'm not sitting right here with these headphones and I'm, listening to them with something else, my phone or my tablet especially. The little speakers are so sad. The earbuds are quite a bit better. I have Bluetooth earbuds that go with those, but this is fantastic here. The rhythm of the vocal part is unusual, but it's catchy. I definitely like the music here. Yeah, let's see where this one takes us.
Daddy fighting 何をかっこつける Daddy fighting Daddy fighting Breaking light and truth 綺麗事並べてちゃ生きてなんてゆけない痛みさえも起爆剤大胆に掴み取れ Brand new love Yeah テレビの占いで生きちよ一日のテンションを決めて
Sorry, that was an acoustic guitar, right? They knocked the pedal off for a second. That's what it sounded like.
占いで生きちよ一日のテンションを決めてもいいじゃないサイコロ振るような運任せの道も一択だけの未来に比べりゃマシさあくび出るくらい
Okay, just a couple of things before I forget to say them. For one, you don't hear Psyche, at least I haven't noticed Psyche doing that many pitch blends before. Sorry, not blends, bends. Like, remember those keyboards that would have a little knob or dial on it that once you pressed a key to make a note and then you would roll the thing and it would go or whatever? There were several notes there where it felt like she was doing that with her voice, bending into the note or away from it. I don't know which. I don't remember her ever doing that in any other song before. And the other thing is just the style and the melody and the rhythm of these vocals sounds completely unique. There's probably a name for that kind of style, but there's parts of it where it's almost like she's leaning away from singing and into storytelling. It's really interesting. Oh, and the other thing I almost forgot to say, I think MISA is the kind of person that if she doesn't play every possible note on the bass during a song, that she feels bad for the ones that she missed. Because in this song, I'm positive that she's playing as far out on the neck as she can at some places, to still be within the key. And it's so low that it's another one of the situations where I'm feeling it outside the headphones somehow. I know it's psychological, but it still feels that way. And at other times, she's playing so high on the neck that it's almost not a bass guitar, but you can tell that it is because of how full and thick those notes are. And she's going in between too. You probably can't, I know I can't, count the number of rock songs that we've heard where the bass guitarist never played more than 3 or 4 notes the entire song. They found where those 3 notes were, and each one of them matched one of the chords in the song, and they just went back and forth between those 3 and 4 notes the whole time. You've seen them. They're in music videos. I know a couple of them are in very famous bands. One that I used to listen to all the time, I finally realized, wait, that bass guitar's fingers haven't moved the entire song. And that was right before I found Band-Maid, and MISA doesn't have that problem. Oh my goodness. Let's keep going. All right. Yeah, y'all knew that was coming, didn't you? You were waiting on that, waiting on me to hear that and react some way. I don't know what I did. Did I fall out of my chair? I don't remember falling out of my chair, but I felt like it. Oh my goodness. And I had just talked about MISA using all of the notes. I think she had a few saved up for that part. Oh my goodness. Yep. We're going back. I wasn't sure where the ending was going to be. Oh, wow. I already forgot what Order sounded like. This is Brand New Road, and Order was just before that, but I really, really like that. I love the change into whatever genre that was. That was fun. It was innovative, and it kind of makes you want to find out whose idea that was, and and do something nice for that person. What they might not be a coffee drinker or a beer drinker, but whatever they like, maybe help them out with that, because that was special. And once again, it was a really nice guitar solo. There was, really great everything. The drums did a fantastic job throughout, and the vocals but I think MISA was the hero of that song. I was already noticing it before the part where that happened. Oh my. I'm definitely going back to my Spotify playlist. If I haven't mentioned it yet, I do have a Spotify playlist where I list all of the Band-Maid songs that I've heard. Every time I hear one, I add it to that list, and it's called my Band-Maid favorites or best or something. And then I put them in order. And every time I hear one that I think, oh, that's better than the one in front of it, then I change the order. And I'm pretty sure these, if I've heard them on Spotify, these are already on that playlist, but I'm going to move them up. Order and Brand New Road. This is already a long video, but I know that my next one's going to have 3 music videos. So that's 3 audios and 3 videos. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go ahead and do Yuragu. So many boring things. It's like a dream. Always fantasize. The never-changing routine. Unsatisfied with the endless loop. Only wants to play. Build and destroy. The future and the past are the same. You just spend it. A world with no answer. Get a mental collapse. I've already got a mental collapse. I didn't say that out loud, did I? Okay. Dance the way you want. Well, that's the only way I know how. Asking the impulse. Asking the impulse. Just feel it. Let me hear your heartbeat, your reality. Claiming this moment. Just hoping. And it goes on. And I'll let you have a mental collapse at some point. Okay. Once again, there's a lot to think about there, but I want to point something out. Here in every one of these songs in this album, it says who the lyrics are by, and it says who the music and arrangement is by. And this one, for the first time, it says the lyrics are by Kobato Miku and somebody else, but I don't know how to read that kanji. That's the other person's name. But it's the first time I've seen one of Band-Maid's members in the lyrics. Now, the arrangement, music was by somebody else, Yamaguchi something. Yeah, I can actually read just a little bit of kanji because I'm learning. But yeah, the music was by Yamaguchi something, and the arrangement was by Spend Stealth Spike. But the lyrics, Miku Kobato and somebody. So for the first time, we're hearing lyrics written by Band-Maid. I don't know which one was the first one that they did, and but this is the first one in order that they're on the album. That's what I mean. Okay, let's go Yuragu and let's finish this out. Okay, I was looking for a good place to pause there, but the intro was fun with just the guitar for a second, and then the drum just bop, 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 bop. That was interesting, and it just kept doing it for a little while, and then the other guitar came in to match it, and then the bass kind of thumped its way in there. I liked the fact that this, again, it sounded like they've traded off vocals. One was Psyche, one was Miku, I'm pretty sure. And then, of course, they're together for a little while, and then one's singing, and just as they're fading out, the other one comes in. It sounds really cool. So far, I'm not quite ordering or Brand New roading it. Those two were special for me, but this one's, I like it. It's good. You guys knew that again, didn't you? You knew that was going to happen. That was fun. Going into, I guess, the second verse. I'm not sure if we just heard the chorus and went into the second verse, but was it just MISA or was Akane there too? I think there were drums there too, but I'm going to listen to it again.
変わらないことなどない感情予測できないからいいじゃん君といたいだけ信じてみようと変わりたいだけ変われば日常進むレールも広がって楽しめばいい作って選んで脳内を崩壊させてあげる生きたいように生けさ求めてる衝動感じるだその心開いて
I know some of you mentioned in my last video that various members of the band help with the vocals when it's needed, but here they had to have, or some of that's a backing track, because there was at least two voices singing the lead part and then at least one voice, maybe doubled, in the background at the same time. So there were multiple people singing, or Saiki and Miku were recording multiple versions of themselves. Still, it was a really interesting sound. But I'm assuming that in the show that at least part of this is a backing track. What was his name again? Or their name, her name? Spin Stealth Spike is who arranged this. Good job, Spin Stealth Spike. I can't say that 3 times fast. I couldn't say it 1 time fast, probably. All right.
生きたいように生けさ求めてる衝動感じるその心開いて見せてみて君の炎を求めてる今を叶えたいだけさ
What's about to happen? Oh yeah, I know I don't have time for it, but I'm going back. Oh my goodness, I got chills all over and tears in my eyes. The way that they led into it, you could tell it was about to happen. I wasn't sure. I didn't know if it's going to do what the last song did or if it was going to be a guitar solo, but it was nice. I don't know if that's far enough back. Okay, that one cut off suddenly as if the sound engineer just turned the volume down, which is fine. That's just as good a way to end a song as any. That was really fun. I think of these 5, I just listened to 5, right? I think Order is my favorite. I don't know which one of these is everybody else's favorite, but I think Order is my favorite of these 5. And again, I don't know if I should say it. I think I liked Order better than Real Existence, but I'm going to have to go back and listen to them side by side. I think it's my new favorite. Oh my. And Brand New Road was right up there. Yuragu was a good song. Is it Yugaru? Was I saying it wrong the whole time? No, it's Yuragu. Okay. I just wrote it wrong in one place here. Yuragu. That was a good song. Just like Nonfiction Days and Look at Me. They were all good songs. This is definitely a higher caliber album than the last two. Every one of them seems to be feeling more confident enough to write lyrics. So I think the hero of this song has to be Miku Kabato. It says Kabato Miku here. And is it Psyche? Is Psyche the other one? Because again, I don't know the kanji for the other one. There's an ampersand and then 2 more kanjis. Yeah, this is really special. This was really fun. And I can't wait to get to the final 3 songs on the album, which, as I said before, are Freedom, Before Yesterday, and Alone. And I'm positive that all 3 of those have official music videos because I've seen at least one of them. Freedom was one of the first Band-Maid songs that I heard, maybe the second one. I know Dice was the first one that I heard on somebody else's reaction video. And then I think either Play or Freedom was the next one. I don't remember the exact order. That'll be fun. And this has been fun. This is fun. For me, it reminds me of the times that you would sit down with a friend, you just got your new CD and, hey, let's listen to this, And, occasionally you would shout at each other over the song, or you would stop it and say, oh, we got to hear that part again. Oh my goodness. That's what it feels like. And even though you're not here with me, I know that by the time that you're hearing this, then I'm here with you. And it kind of makes it work because as they said in this one song, the future and the past are the same. Maybe. Anyway, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.